Coming up.
Whether it's hot or whether it's cold, humidity plays a large role in making you very uncomfortable. It's a intensifier.
The deal with fescue, it generates heat and goes to the extremities, and it just exasperates the heat.
Learn why Red Angus cattle are the top choice for producers in hot climates. Next on The American Rancher. Welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Justin McKee in for Pam Minnick. Today, we visit producers in Arkansas and Oklahoma who raise cattle in hot and humid environments. Heat tolerance is an important trait for them, but they also don't want to compromise carcass traits and mothering ability. Red Angus cattle are important to their success because the breed's ability to thrive in hot climates translates into strong economic benefits on sale day.
Matias Ranch is owned by Sam Matias. We're a commercial cow operation and a seed stock operation. Mr. Sam was raised on a farm here in Northwest Arkansas, and as he progressed through his business career, he wanted to establish a ranch. It was established in the early 2000s. I asked Mr. Matias, why do you prefer Red Angus cattle? And he said over the years of him driving down numerous country roads, numerous highways, checking other people's cows, he noticed that the red cattle were out working and other cattle were in the pond, were in the trees, and for his team, he needed stuff to work. The Red Angus cattle are phenomenal mothers. That's what we're known for. But they also create a high-quality carcass. You know, the feet on these red cattle, we've not had near the issue that we've had in other cattle. The other part is we've all sat down in a black leather seat in a truck in the summertime. It's hot. So those cattle are generating heat where red are not generating that excess heat. They have a way of dissipating, it's not holding it in. We're in the Ozarks. Our forages are a main struggle for us. I'd say 90% of our forage is fescue. You know, fescue is caused a lot of cows from not starving, but it has also caused a lot of issues right along the side of it. So we're always dealing with that. And the deal with fescue, you know, it generates heat and goes to the extremities, and it just exasperates the heat.
The heat tolerance is important here with the fescue, so we feel like having cattle doing their job, not in ponds or up in the trees, eating the forage the way they should, being able to dissipate the heat from the fescue, and then down the road, you know, producing a good product of beef and a good steer carcass.
Love the temperament. You know, we're not horseback. We're not gathering horseback all the time. We can get them with a siren or with a horn, but it you know, safety first. It works with my people. And that's a big part of why we like the Red Angus cattle. And bull purchases, we want them moderate to small, depending on a heifer or a bull sire. But we want them with explosive growth off the end. So we're trying to pick on our heifers, we're trying to pick at least a 10% or less birth weight bull. Our heifer bull, I think, that we bought this year is a 15% weaning and an 18% yearling, but we are strongly pushing marbling in our bulls. The bull we bought this year is a 1%. I mean, he's like a 1.2. But we're trying to hold high Pro S, probably top 10% Pro S, probably 5% Grid Master, and try to hold on with about 50% herd builder. In our mature bulls, we push the birth weight up a little bit. We're still around a -2, which is a 20–25%, but we want all of those qualities. So when we purchase Red Angus bulls, it gives me a little more flexibility We have a spring and a fall herd. Therefore, I'm doubling the calves out of that bull. It has worked for us. And the other thing I do is our commercial heifer bulls get some age and some size. They have enough performance in them that they can go on into the mature cow herd. So we use AI in the commercial herd every breeding season. We make sure every cow is 45 days postpartum. We set them up, we sync them. It gets actually half of my calf crop in the first week of the calving season. It's helped group those cows up. Plus, it's give us, in our genetic progress, it's give us multiple half sips, you know, and we're in our second and third year of this, and we're making great progress over where we started. The consistency with the calves is good. The growth, we're just producing a more highly valuable animal than we would if we turn multiple bulls out. Plus, it's cheaper. I mean, you buy a bull that with these kind of stats or EPDs that we're breeding to, I can't afford him to just go out and breed 20 cows in a breeding season. So that's where it's really helped us.
After the break.
Red cow, I'd say, has a lot less disposition issues. In my opinion, they do a lot better in the heat than black cows do.
We visit a family in Oklahoma that benefits from their commercial and registered Red Angus cattle. You're watching The American Rancher. Welcome back to The American Rancher. The Ledbetter family in Okmulgee, Oklahoma is a multi-generational farming and ranching family with diverse agriculture interests. They raise a Red Angus commercial herd along with seed stock that thrive in hot environments.
My grandfather started here in about 1950, Okmulgee County, Oklahoma.
Started as a dairy farm, kind of worked beef cattle into it, row crop. My grandfather, Chris, has kind of took the lead of the farming side, which is very important because without him, we wouldn't be able to raise our silage, raise our own hay. Plays a very important role. And Dad he's more does the cow stuff, runs our purebred commercial seed stock deal, and I just kind of fill in where I'm needed, whether it's running drills or working cows or going and checking cows, running a hay baler. I just kind of fill in where I'm needed.
We now have the 5th generation. Our granddaughter is here, Presley, so been here for a lot of generations, been blessed.
So coming into this family and not having any kind of, we were both in FFA together, but I was not near into the agriculture industry as this family is. And so, she's a Nini's girl. So coming into this family, it's been kind of like an eye-opener to see it up close how the cattle industry works and making, getting what's in the pasture to our table for dinner every night.
We've added more of a farm-to-table operation here at the house where we bring inspected cuts back from the processor and sell it to a lot of our local neighbors and the surrounding communities. And that helps them. It gives them another option besides the stores. There's no place I'd rather raise a family than on the farm. Teaches them responsibility from a very early age. If the cows don't get taken care of, then in turn we don't get to eat. Many times the cattle eat before we do.
We're a row crop, wheat farm, and we also commercial and purebred cattle operation. We started to incorporate the Red Angus genetics in about 2010, 2012, and just extremely impressed with how those cattle work here in our environment, hot, humid, southern type environment, but yet we still get a lot of winter weather here. And humidity, anybody who lives where that's an issue understands it's a intensifier. Whether it's hot or whether it's cold, humidity plays a large role in making you very uncomfortable in the outdoors. So these Red Angus cattle really do well in our environment, and really they're the base of our commercial operation and a large part of our genetics and seed stock operation.
So Red Angus has helped us in many ways, as well as our customer. A lot of help with the heat tolerance, In my opinion, they do a lot better in the heat than black cows do. The red cow, I'd say, has a lot less disposition issues. They're overall just a better cow. I mean, a lot better fleshing ability, a lot better mama cow, and they're just all around a better cow than the black cow, in our opinion.
Your cattle are only as strong as the cows behind them, and Red Angus really gives you a tremendous edge and advantage when you're utilizing that type of breeding program. When we brought in Red Angus years ago, we quickly recognized how versatile not only those cows are, but that breed as a whole can be for marketability. So the red cows work very well whether you're in a northern high altitude type climate, drier climate, whether you're in the heat and humidity of the south. There's just a lot of versatility there. And a lot of that, I think, also goes back to how well Red Angus cross.
You can throw a Hereford bull on them and have a great red baldy calf. You can throw a Simmental bull on there and have a nice little hybrid bull you can sell. Makes a very nice female to do whatever you'd like to with, whether it's make a recip cow out of, make a good mama cow.
Some of the unique challenges we face in our area here are definitely the heat and humidity. Winters can be tough, but definitely summertime and working around heat indexes running 110 to 120 at times, it's challenging on stock. So I feel like that's one of the areas that Red Angus really flourish in, is in the heat tolerant area. You've got Angus genetics in a red hide, very heat tolerant package. So when you're talking convenience traits, Red Angus, I feel like, really has a large role there. You have a breed that's really genetically predisposed to make tremendous females. You have the pole gene in those cattle. You have good red slick hide for heat tolerance, excellent disposition. The maternal traits of the Red Angus breed, I feel like, are one of the things that really set Red Angus apart from a lot of the other cattle in the industry today.
So with the Red Angus cattle, we've seen that while our main focus is maternal ability, they do a tremendous job of feeding out and marbling. We feed a lot of them at home on our place. We finish them out with silage and corn, and they do a great job of marbling and feeding all of it.
For years and years, we ran a lot of half-blood Brahman cows, which work wonderful in our area. But as we brought in the Red Angus genetics, then we started to see that in our environment, we didn't have to have that half Bos Indicus influence to still thrive and do well in this area. For me, everything ties back to the mama cow. All of our genetics, we breed by cow family. So in terms of what we're selecting for the next generation, it's all about the cows. We like a big-bodied, wedge-shaped, wide pen set, big rib cage in a female that will fit our environment. And what I have found working with customers from the north to the south, the female that is made right and sound in her makeup works in whatever environment you put her in. You just have to adjust to your environment. There's places in the Dakotas where, a larger cow works better, places down in Florida where a more moderate frame cow works, but those basic qualities of soundness in your female work no matter what environment you're in. So another added advantage that Red Angus bring to the table, these Red Angus females work extremely well here in the fescue belt and onto the south. When you want to talk about efficiency, an animal that can go utilize what forages are native to your area and that you have to work with, that brings a whole new dimension to your operation. And these Red Angus females have the ability to go make a living on fescue and make a living in the heat and humidity and utilize forages that are less than desirable, but we have them and we can then utilize them and turn that into high quality protein.
We live about 40 miles south of Tulsa, so you have people trying to move further and further south all the time, so it's harder to get land. It's harder to afford land. Everybody wants to buy 20 acres and put a house on it and put a couple cows in the backyard, So
It's becoming harder and harder to have enough land to run a cow, so you need a cow that can do the best she can on what she has.
Up next,
We saw an invitation to come in and be a part of where we thought the Red Angus breed was going.
hear how producers are capitalizing on the growth of Red Angus genetics when the American Rancher continues. Welcome back. With all the challenges facing the beef cattle industry, it's important to control as many variables as possible. Red Angus cattle are already in control of many profit and convenience traits that help tip the scales in cow-calf operations. Coupled with built-in heat tolerance, Red Angus have a lot to offer.
So hide color is an important indicator of an animal's adaptability to a warmer environment. And things that impact performance are going to be, well, two of the major factors would be lower feed intake, which affects a lot of things, but in particular that's going to influence performance or condition score in a cow and those kind of things. The other major factor influencing performance due to heat stress related to hide color. If an animal is stanting, spraddle-legged, salivating, panting hard, they're expending energy to try to stay cool or manage that heat load. The Red Angus breed, has an advantage because of the red and particularly light red color in some of those cattle within the breed. Any breed can select for improved heat tolerance through natural selection. That's one way to go about it. But another way to go about it, particularly if you're thinking about a planned crossbreeding program, would be to use a breed that has that advantage to begin with as a complementary advantage, and to make those changes rapidly through the crossbreeding system. And so, I think the Red Angus breed certainly has an advantage from that standpoint.
In the past decade, the demand for Red Angus genetics has increased as much as 24%. And commercial Red Angus producers are seeing an opportunity that is fueled by that demand.
A lot of those commercial producers are now seeing those big advantages from those seed stock bulls that they've purchased, and the commercial cattle have such a high quality value to them. Now they're starting to dive into that seed stock side because of that, and they can see that advantages of those registered cattle.
We saw an invitation to come in and be a part of where we thought the Red Angus breed was going, and it's still going. I mean, it's going, with leaps and bounds. In 2022, Trevor and I went to the National Red Angus Convention in Kalispell, Montana. We had an inclination that we wanted to start a small registered herd for our own commercial bulls, and it was a way to go and feel how welcoming the association was, what the association was about, and to see if there was growth allowed for a breeder in the association, and everything was a positive experience.
At Red Angus, the Learn from the Best program, which we participated in last year. And what we've seen is going through the different sessions every month with the team. There's been producers that have been in Red Angus for a long time, and they have shared, the progress that Red Angus has given over the years through all the work that the team's doing. So as a newer producer, it's been nice to tap into that information and trust that you're using the right data and making the right decisions.
As far as how the Red Angus cattle have performed in the marketplace over the last year and a half, it's imperative that we mention first the Red Angus female. She is at an all-time high in terms of demand, in terms of price discovery. She is unmatched in her ability to gain all kinds of attractiveness to buyers all over the country, whether you're talking about commercial guys or seed stock guys. With the nation's cow herd at such an ultimate low numbers, the build back is going to start, and most of the producers that you talk to are going to start with that Red Angus female.
We choose to enroll our calves in the FCC program because we feel that age and source is important. I think it's a great value. And I also believe that it is the first step in the chain of this calf's life to keep track of how it progresses up. It provides age, source, and genetic verification. And we will end up getting data back from our calves when they're harvested. We use EIDs.
The advantages to EIDs that we see is the traceability throughout the supply chain during the calf's life. And for us as well, we have EIDs in all of our females. So that allows us to have a permanent form of identification. If she were ever to lose her ear tag, we still know who she is, and that helps us keep our record keeping more accurate.
This last set of calves that we marketed were IMI certified through Beef Cares. We went through that audit last fall. It was easier than I thought. I was dreading it, but it turned out to be a really, really positive experience. And it's the right thing to do. We want to show that, our cattle is sustainable and that we do things the right way, or try to do things the right way.
That's it for today. To learn more about Red Angus heat tolerance and other breed benefits, visit redangus.org. And to learn more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, and connect with us on Facebook or YouTube. I'm Justin McKee. On behalf of Pam Minnick and the entire American Rancher team, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.